Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I'm Allison with Green Goddess Plants and Seeds, and welcome to another garden chat for a quiet Monday. The smoke has mostly cleared, but there's still a little bit in there. You can still smell it. It's cooled down quite a lot. It's currently like 14 degrees Celsius out here, which is what, 60 Fahrenheit or something like that. So it's definitely cooled down. I think the high today is only supposed to be 23, which is nice. It's nice to have a reprieve from those hot temperatures. And I have noticed that since we have had, 2 or 3 days of cooler temperatures, that things have slowed down a bit, especially with the zucchini. When like the last 2 weeks when we've had the heat wave temperatures, we were just barely able to keep up with the fruit production off the zucchinis. Like, it was just nuts. Like Friday morning we picked, I think, close to 50 pounds worth of zucchini, and then another 20 that night. So it was getting crazy. But I have noticed that since it's cooled down, that the zucchinis have slowed down, which honestly I am quite grateful for, because like I said, we were struggling to keep up with the production that they're doing. There's still a few, like I picked some yesterday, and there's probably a few here this morning that could be picked, but not the same not the same volume as what we've had. So it's kind of nice to have a little bit of a break where we can maybe focus on some other things. We still haven't had a lot of rain though, so I think this morning we are going to be watering. We're going to dump some water on the garden because it is still quite dry. We had a little bit of rain Thursday night into Friday morning, but it wasn't much. It just barely kind of wet the ground kind of thing. So yeah, today's duty will be watering. So, and we've been still fairly busy with everything else, like the cucumbers have finally started producing. So that's an extra duty that we have to do every day, is check the cucumbers along with the zucchinis, to make sure that we get the ones while they're at their prime and not too big. So we got a few zinnias planted in here with the tomatoes. I like interplanting stuff like this. I would do more of it, but like there's some really gorgeous colors out here. It's really pretty, really gorgeous zinnias. There's some marigolds too. I did plant some marigolds, but the marigolds aren't blooming yet, so they'll probably be a bit later. But I'm still waiting for these tomatoes to ripen. These are the Beaver Lodge slicers. They're not as big as they were last year. Last year we got really big tomatoes off of these, but they're smaller this year, but quite abundant. These ones are the Centennial Rocket right here. And as you can see, they are absolutely loaded. They are a smaller tomato. I don't know if they're quite classified as a cherry, but they almost could be. I always thought they were like a small slicer, but this year they look like they're more like a cherry tomato, but still very early, and obviously, as you can see, very productive. I do have lots of other tomatoes coming over here. This is my favorite cherry tomato. This is the sweet aperitif, and I can't wait for these to ripen. They are so sweet and flavorful. This is probably, if I had to only choose one cherry tomato, the sweet aperitif would be it. And what else we got going on here? Most things are starting to have got fruit on them. The ox hearts are doing well. There's lots of fruit coming on the ox hearts. Some down here. There we go. There's the ox hearts, looking very good. Behind me here, the ones that are falling over, I think these are the black cherries. Some of them. Let's see. Yep, black cherry. I don't see any fruit set on these guys. Oh wait, yeah, there is some there. I'm gonna have to maybe bring back some more stakes or some stronger ones for these guys, because they're just kind of falling over. Let's see what else we got going on in here. Lots of things setting fruit. Oh, these are the carbons. Oh, these are doing absolutely amazing this year. I'm so happy. I am so happy with the way they're producing. They're just loaded with nice big fruit on them. I can't wait for them to ripen. Carbon is my favorite of the dark tomatoes. I prefer it over the Cherokee Purple. I know lots of people love the Cherokee Purple, but my favorite is the Carbon. I'm trying to get, there we go. But yeah, lots of things coming along. This is, here we go. There's a nice one. That I think that's the Black Beauty right there. And these are Cherokee Purples, and there's another zinnia, nice, really big, beautiful pink zinnia. Peas are producing. Beets are coming along. The hoop house still needs to be skinned. It's otherwise looking good. The pumpkins are just doing very well, and of course the cucumbers out here are all starting to look fantastic with all their cucumbers starting to form. So we'll have a lot, probably by the end of the week, in time for next week's market, we'll have lots of cucumbers. We did pick a few for this past week's market, and the ones that we did have at this past week's market just sold in like 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. They were gone. Mind you, we only had about maybe 4 or 5 bags of cucumbers, but they were gone in like 2 minutes, and they were snapped up. So everyone's looking for fresh veg, which is good, you know. So yeah, next week, next Friday and Saturday, we'll have probably a lot more cucumbers for sale. Well, you know, of course, then more zucchini. Lettuce is kind of finished. What we do have left for lettuce is quite bitter tasting because of the heat, and we pulled a bunch of it out because it bolted. Same with the spinach, it bolted on us. So we do have more planted, and it was my intention to get it planted out this weekend into the ground, but that didn't happen. So it's going to be another thing that I'll have to wait for next week, and trying to get those plant starts in the ground. Like, there's just not enough hours in the day to get everything done, you know, and it's just Glenn and I. So, you know, and, you know, at the end of the day, you know, 11 o'clock at night, 11:30, we're going to bed, and we basically fall into bed and fall asleep because we're so tired just because of everything that has to be done. And of course, Glenn has that much more to do because he has the bees to manage, plus the farm itself. Like, you know, end of the month, he's got to start gearing up for a harvest, making sure all of his machinery and equipment is in good working order. So, plus at the end of the month, he's going to be extracting honey. Yeah, so the heat that we had the last 2 weeks has it's really pushed things it's really sped things up. It's really made things develop and ripen that much faster. Like, there was a lady at the farmer's market this past Friday. They have a Saskatoon berry orchard, and they said that the berries that they had, they were 2 weeks early. 2 weeks earlier than what they would normally be picking. So the heat just sped everything right up. So hopefully now we've got a little bit of a reprieve. I think this coming week is supposed to be a lot more moderate. There is rain in the forecast, which is definitely a relief, and I hopefully we do actually get some of that rain, because sometimes it can just go right by us. So, and these are the squash vines and some of the novelty pumpkins that we got out here. They're just taking right over this patch. We obviously planted them too close to the hoop house, but when we planted them, the hoop house wasn't built yet, so it was kind of hard to tell how much room we needed. But they're flowering, but I haven't seen any fruit set. There's a female there that had opened, so hopefully that got pollinated. Behind me here, these are more, oh, these are the Glen spaghetti squash. I think I did see some coming on them. And back over, there's a few straggly bits of corn. It's about all that we had left to come up, but whatever. And over here, of course, these are the pie pumpkins, which are they've just completely taken over their spot. There's a couple of nice ones in here. I mean, look at that. We'll have lots and lots of pumpkins for sale in the fall. The big moons, as I showed earlier, were doing well. I haven't checked the Connecticut field ones. Let's go take a peek what's happening with the Connecticut field pumpkins. I don't think I checked those to see if there's any fruit set. They should be setting fruit. Everything else is. I know there's lots of female flowers out here. I don't know if there's anything in here to look at. Lots of flowers. Oh well, one of these days we'll come along and boom, there'll be one sitting there plain as day. But these big moons are looking really good. Every time we drive in to the yard, there's one over here at the end that you can just see, it just glows. Or you can just see the flowers just glowing on them. Yeah, there's one fruit here that we can see from the road as we drive in every day. Right there it is, and it just glows. So I guess that's why it's called Big Moon. Like it just glows from the end. You can see it. So, but that's the pumpkin patch. I hope it's a sincere pumpkin patch that the Great Pumpkin would be proud of. So as usual, I will be heading back into the city today, probably tonight, so I can look after my garden in the city. It's shaping up to be a busy time with everything starting to ripen, everything starting to come into production, you know, with the cucumbers and the zucchini and everything else. Hopefully tomatoes soon. But yeah, so it's a good start to the week, and I hope you're having a great Monday. Hope you're having a great start to the week, and that your week is a good week, full of fun and joy, and not so stressful, because I know sometimes things can get out of hand. But anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and we'll be talking to you again soon, hopefully from my city garden. We'll show you what's happening there. I know I didn't do one last time. There wasn't much to show, so this time hopefully there'll be some things to see. So until next time, you take care.